Thank you, Representative Ryan, and thank you for expressing the tone of harshness that has prevailed in this chamber. I don't know if I can remember when a standing law in this country was used as a reason to avoid paying our bills or keeping government running. I find it regrettable that we go after the law of the land, in this case, the Affordable Care Act. They'll reference it as Obamacare, and we'll see how long that label stands when the program proves successful. It might be removed immediately. But nonetheless, the harshness here is driven after a season's worth of activity on the Affordable Care Act. We have voted for it in both houses of the Congress, bipartisan support in the Senate. President stood for re-election, was re-elected, in immense arguments and debates about repeal and replace by the opposition, candidate for president from the other major party. So the people have spoken. And when they elected members to the House of Representatives, the cumulative total of votes for the members of this House were in the majority column for Democrats. So the people have stated they support this. And as Senator McCain indicated on the floor just this week, there are consequences to elections. It's not sinking in, or perhaps it has, but they refuse to allow their behavior to end. It's putting themselves first as political forces rather than the people, what's in the best interest of the people. And I'm convinced that this is driven by the fear that this Obamacare, as they call it, will be successful. And this is their last effort possible to end the opportunity to provide affordable, accessible, quality health care for all. We know it. We see it in our states. We see it in Ohio. We see it in California. We see it in Florida. We're joined by our friend from Texas who just visited my district this week in Albany, New York, Representative Castro from Texas. We see it in our home states. People have a need out there. In my case, I can cite some of the stats. 36,000 young people will not be biased against with pre-existing conditions from having insurance. Take it away, why don't you? Take it away and then put us at risk of defaulting with our credit rating. Take it away. Be harsh. We look at the 12,000 plus seniors who are receiving discounts for their pharmaceutical needs. Take it away, why don't you? It's unfair. It's un-American, immoral to take it away. But we're going to use it as a pawn in a device here called negotiating on whether or not the government will continue to run, whether we keep the doors open and the lights on, whether or not we're going to pay our bills. Come on, working families in this country understand it. They roll up their sleeves. They play by the rules. They work hard. They expect to taste success. And they pay their bills on time, and they expect their government to do likewise. They don't expect us to put a roadblock in the way that says the law of the land, constitutionally tested in the highest court of the land, in the Supreme Court, given the green light, we're going to put that in the road as a roadblock to stop progress because we know the October 1st starting date is quickly arriving. This is grossly unfair to the people of this country. When I look at the 124,000 seniors who are receiving free preventative services, I'm not ready to give that up. Repeal's not an answer. Improving is an answer, and I'll work with you. But we don't use this vehicle as a reason to stop government from running, or a vehicle to stop us from paying America's bills. It goes on and on. 6,200 young people who now qualify to stay on their parents' policies for their health care coverage. This is vast improvement. This is allowing people, the tens of millions who have been uninsured, the many who are underinsured, to finally have access, connection to a system. Aren't we in this business to respond to the needs of people? Are we in the business to take the facts, twist them, present them in a way that offer confusion and only serve political partisan purposes? I think we can do better than that in this chamber. We're going to work. We're going to get to that finish line. And I'm convinced, Representative Garamendi, that we're going to stand for justice, what's for fairness in our society. And health care is a right. We should see it as an American right. The moral compass points in that direction. And we ought not use it as a pawn in a political theater that allows for us to not have government funded or allows for us to not pay our bills. Let's get on with business. What's happening in this chamber? Are we so insensitive to the needs of people? More important than responding to the health care needs of the people of this great country. So let's stop the brinksmanship. Let's get it done. Let's get business done here. And I thank you for leading us in this discussion and
Mr. Tonko, thank you.